Hey genderqueer chatters, Joe here. It's a bit bright, I do realize that. But I'm a sun junkie, and I'm always looking for sunlight in my house, and I just found some. So I'm going to grab it. Well, the getting's good, as they say, because it is December. It's the dog days of December. And interestingly, come on Stanley, today's video is about pets. And you've met him before, you'll meet him again. Stanley, come here. He's a little bit camera shy. He doesn't like to be held. Who's that? Hi, Stanley. So that's Stanley. Oh, and he stinks a little bit. Yeah, stinky bum. And his brother, which I call his brother, but my other cat is Eli, who is over there eating, and I'll introduce him to you later. Which, if you watch the old videos from our Day in the Life videos, they were both on that video. I know. And they're both extremely noisy. There's this in my life all the time. His little periscope tail. I had a cat when I was a lot younger. When I was a child, we had a family cat, and it was a female, and her name was Pom Pom. And Pom Pom is not very nice. She was a little crotchety, kind of bitchy cat. And I remember my mother saying it was because she had had a litter of kittens young, and then she'd been fixed. And my mother always said, don't touch her belly, because that's where she'd been fixed. And I don't know, we just kind of had it put in our heads from an early age, I think, that female cats were kind of annoying and whiny. Not that these guys are not whiny, so I'll get to that later. But, yeah, I know, he wants treats. Come here. So, I think it's really funny that I'm giving him treats while we talk, because that's the story of my life with Stanley. Anyhow, we had this cat, Pom Pom, who was quite bitchy, and I was kind of trained to believe that female cats were bitchy cats. And even the word bitchy has really got overtones and so forth, but that's just telling you the way it was when we were growing up. So, I never wanted female cats after that. So when it came time, like later, way later in my 20s when I got cats, I specifically sought out males. And as a result, I have 2 male cats, and my sister has a male cat. And at one point, my mother had a male cat. And I don't really know why, actually. And I'm kind of curious as to why we've kind of gone this way. Because, you know, in my regular life, I really dislike genderizing things. And I would never, ever say, you know, females are this way and males are that way, considering that I'm genderqueer. Not to mention, whenever you get an animal, you usually get it neutered or spayed, right? So you've rendered it pretty much genderless anyway. So what's the, you know, what does it matter? And yet I don't know. Not only do I have male cats, but I've named them male names, which is unlike me. You know, I'm pretty genderless and gender-free and genderqueer in all my life carryings on. By the way, he's going ballistic for those treats. He said, "What? Do you want more?" Can you hear that? It's rather funny. Anyway, Stanley is 11 years old, and Eli will be 16 in January, and I've had them both since they were kittens, so you can imagine I've had them for like the bulk of my adult life. And I'm actually looking forward, I shouldn't say that, looking forward to the day when I don't have cats. That's a horrible thing to say. I travel a lot, and at the moment I don't have a reliable cat sitter, so I am kind of a little bit stuck in a way that I haven't been in years, because I live way, way out in the country, and my cat, the closest cat sitter I have is, well, my next door neighbor, and she's sweet and generous, but, you know, if I go away for 2 weeks at a time, like 3 or 4 times a year, like, that is a bit excessive, you know, that's a lot to ask of someone. So, anyway, I don't know why I've always picked male cats. I also, this is another interesting point, I am pantheist, which, I guess religiously speaking, is sort of a, it's a way of thinking. It's very hard to articulate. I am very much in tune with nature. Nature and me, we're like that. Me and my body, we don't get along. Me and nature, we get along. What I love about nature is that I accept things for what they are in nature. So I actually have to show you this. This is hilarious. Stanley, what are you doing? Oh, so he was having a little. He was eating those treats, and now he's having a little bath. And Eli's over there. Eli! Eli, go, Stanley, go get some treats. Hey, Eli, what are you doing? Stanley, he really wants treats, but he doesn't know about going down to get them. Go get them, honey. Come on. So that's Eli, cute as a button, almost 16 years old. Anyway, what I was talking about earlier was pantheism, and that because I believe so strongly in nature, and that I really abide by nature's ways, and I love the fact that I am a part of nature. You know, I can see how cats in nature behave a certain way. Like there's sort of an alpha male usually. How there's always aggression, the way they fight it out, they'll duke it out. I don't know about female cats because I've never had more than one female cat, but I don't know if they behave the same way. But I'll watch Planet Earth, and you'll see the way animals, the males will always duke it out over a female. It's ridiculous. It's really, really ridiculous. And yet that's nature. That's kind of how nature operates. My cats often remind me of nature. Like Eli's very ruled by his belly. When he's hungry, he lets you know it. He starts shrieking. And when he wants to go outside, this other thing, I think he's just because he's an Aquarius, but he's really, really ruled by his nature, which is freedom-loving. He wants to go outside a lot. He's an outdoor cat. If you can imagine such a thing, a 16-year-old cat who's an indoor-outdoor cat. He goes outside. And I lived in the heart of like an inner city for most of my life, and he's never been hit by a car. He's never been. Well, you know what? The vet said he was injured. He had a full body X-ray done one time. He's got major medical problems. He's got a respiratory problem that's quite an expensive thing to treat, quite frankly. He has trouble breathing, and he sneezes a lot. You should see that. Yeah, so Eli's had a lot of medical problems in his life, and as a result, I kind of let him do. I mean, he's got to be himself, right? So if what he wants is to go outside, I let him out. I figure if he dies, if he gets attacked by a wild animal out here in the country, and in the city it would have been cars or idiot kids, punk kids or whatever. My attitude was always, we've all got to meet our maker somehow, and he's had a really good long life, and I really love him, and I've taken care of him a lot over the years. Oh yeah, so when I took him in, he had a medical problem about 3 years ago. He couldn't breathe. And so since then, he's been medicated either on antibiotics or prednisone, on and off. It's called pulsating antibiotics, for about 3 or 4 years now. It's a really intense process, and there's huge chunks of his life where he's having trouble breathing. You'll hear him going. It's very difficult to. But I love him to bits. I mean, I'm going to make his life as comfortable as possible. Anyway, they did a full body X-ray on him one time, and they found out that he had some broken ribs from a previous injury, which I know nothing about because he was always an indoor-outdoor cat, and I never knew what he got up to. I mean, he would disappear for hours, and... Oh, so when the camera's off you squeal. I'm definitely going to have fun splicing this all together because it's been quite a mess. But I just wanted to say that do love my kitties to bits, but when they're gone, I won't be getting other cats or dogs, as far as I know. I don't think I will. I've had them for, like I said, almost 16 years. I've had animals, so it's a huge commitment. I don't have kids. I don't have a spouse. I don't have really anything I need to take care of except for these guys, and it's a big job. It's a really big job, and sometimes I feel like I'm not 100% equipped to do it, but I do love them to pieces. And when they get sick or something goes wrong, like if they get injured, and they've both been sick and injured over the years. Stanley actually had bulimia. I shit you not. He stopped eating at one point. I had a third cat, Jackson, another male, who was quite alpha. And, come on up, honey. And Stanley decided he hated Jackson, wanted to die, so he stopped eating. Yes, baby. He has psychological... He's also missing a tooth. Stanley's my snaggletooth tiger. He's missing one fang, so he gets, like... this weird, like, it snags on his tooth like that. It looks hilarious. I know, baby. You want to say goodbye to everyone? Stanley? Say goodbye, baby. Stanley. That's pretty much what Stanley does every day, all day. He's in that chair with his foot in the air, licking his... We have Eli. And that's where he is every day, all day, in his little bed under the kitchen table. And he's having a little bath.